I'm diving deep into the world of travel myths and challenging myself to debunk the ones you thought were true. From misguided advice to flat-out lies, the world of travel is riddled with myths that can make or break your next adventure. And that's exactly what I'm going to tackle today. The travel myths you believed were true, but aren't. Misinformation is everywhere, and it's easy to get swept up in the hype. A well-meaning friend or family member shares a tip, and before you know it, it's spread like wildfire. But the thing is, most of the time, these tips are based on outdated information, personal biases, or just plain old myths, and that's where the trouble starts. When you plan your trip based on misinformation, you open yourself up to disappointment, financial loss, or even physical risk. Take, for example, the common myth that you need to exchange your money at the airport. Sounds harmless, right? But did you know that airport exchange rates are some of the worst you'll find, and you'll end up losing a pretty penny in the process? It's not just about money, though. Misinformation can also lead to poor decisions about your travel itinerary, accommodation, or even your safety. And that's why it's so important to separate fact from fiction when it comes to travel planning. By doing your research and verifying the information, you can avoid costly mistakes and make the most of your trip. But it's not always easy, especially when it comes to myths that have been perpetuated for years. The truth is, many of us have been guilty of spreading travel myths at some point or another. We've all been there, repeating something we heard from someone else without fact-checking it first. But it's time to break the cycle and start sharing reliable information. So in this video, I'll be diving into some of the most common travel myths and debunking them with cold, hard facts. Let's start with the myth that travel insurance is a waste of money. I mean, who needs insurance, right? You're not going to get sick or injured on your trip. Until you do. And then you're stuck with a massive medical bill that could have been avoided with a simple insurance policy. The truth is, travel insurance is an essential part of any trip, and it's not as expensive as you think. In fact, some credit cards even offer built-in travel insurance, so it's worth checking your policy to see if you're already covered. Another myth is that the cheapest flight is always the best option. I mean, who doesn't love saving money, right? But the thing is, those super cheap flights often come with hidden fees, ridiculous layovers, or subpar service. And when you factor in the stress and frustration that comes with a bad flight experience, it's often worth paying a little extra for a better airline. Then there's the myth that you need to book your accommodations well in advance to avoid overpaying. Now, I'm not saying it's not a good idea to plan ahead, but the truth is, many hotels and vacation rentals offer last-minute deals or discounts, especially during the off-season. And with the rise of travel apps and websites, it's easier than ever to find a great place to stay at the last minute. But one of the most shocking myths I've come across is the idea that certain countries are inherently dangerous. I mean, we've all heard the warnings about places like Mexico or South Africa, but the truth is, most cities in these countries are just as safe as any other city in the world. Of course, there are areas you should avoid, but that's true of any city. The key is to do your research, stay informed, and take the usual precautions to stay safe while traveling. Here it goes. The myth that you need to drink at least 8 glasses of water a day to stay hydrated while flying. I mean, we've all heard it before, but the truth is there's no scientific evidence to support this claim. In fact, the World Health Organization recommends drinking water in moderation, and the best way to stay hydrated on a flight is to listen to your body and drink when you're thirsty. So, there you have it, the top travel myths debunked. And let me tell you, it's been eye-opening to dig into the facts and separate truth from fiction. By being informed and doing your research, you can avoid costly mistakes and make the most of your trip. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the world of travel myths. If you've got a travel myth you'd like to share, please leave it in the comments below. And if you're looking for more travel tips and tricks, be sure to check out my video on travel hacks that'll save you time and money. Until next time, happy travels!